Hi. This is the first time I've ever put this shirt on. I thought maybe I would just show you. Just do my little share thing. On that trip coming across the country this last summer, bringing my car, we stopped at a place, Mount Rushmore. Anyway, I'll tell the story later here. So, not a fashion statement necessarily, but look at the back. Can you see the wings? He put those on for me for free. Anyway, I just wanted to show my shirt. So there. All right, baby. Okay. I had my daughter turn the TV on mute so that I wouldn't have all that stuff on my video. Today's the 11th, I believe, of November. Yes, it is. The 11th day of the 11th month, I guess, is Veterans Day always. I didn't know that. Because I thought it was strange. It's on a Tuesday. Seems like they usually put their holidays on Mondays. So anyway, I needed a long sleeve shirt, and I haven't worn this shirt before. And coming through, okay, we went to Mount Rushmore. But everything in their gift shop is like crazy expensive, okay? And so then there's other places that you can get stuff. Anyway, we were driving through town on our way out, and lo and behold, there across the road was this place that was selling t-shirts and stuff for Mount Rushmore. So we stopped because they were, I don't know if I saw a sign that said $5 t-shirts or not, but anyway, they had a whole bunch of stuff out on the porch that was cheap. But you come to find out that the whole inside store was really like an outlet. And what it was things that didn't sell over a 3-year period, I think. Then they put it over there and they knocked it down. Maybe it was even less as far as the time goes. But anyway, I got to know this guy a little bit. And I didn't do what I was supposed to. I was going to send him some business cards to put in these stores because he works at 5 different stores. One of them being a smoke shop. And it's like, wow, I really should have followed through on that. And I figured tourist season is over, so. But anyway, the point is, he was going to put my business cards, which is introduction cards to my channel. He was going to put those in those 5 stores. So I really still should, because I know the smoke shop will be staying open, and he'll put them there. But I didn't follow through. But the point is, he had a good deal going on because they were on sale because they were the things that came from the other stores that didn't sell. And then they had the machine to put on, like the wings that's on my shirt. He had just pick any of them out you want, and there were sparkly ones, and so I got a sparkly one. I wasn't thinking about my hair. Might be down in the way. Or, grabbing onto sequins type stuff. Anyway, no, it's one of those stickers, so it's just a rough texture probably. But it's all sparkly. And yes, angel wings is appropriate. Anyway, I like the shirt. My body could use going down a little bit more in size, but I still like the shirt even so. And it's got long sleeves, and it's pretty color. So I just wanted to share. As I'm sharing, I took my daughter, because she's off today, I took her over to Walmart to help me pick out material. Because, if I'm going to reach my goal, I need to have the colors, and I need to have it pre-washed, and I need to make it simple so I can just cut up squares and get into production, so I'll be able to accomplish my goal. Like I said, putting them together this particular way seems like a lot of extra work, but it's really better because it takes care of that other stuff. You know, in the old days, and I know they're still doing it, you just sew up these squares, just sew them and sew them and sew them, and then put them on a quilt batting and a backing and quilt it to it. But I'm not going to do that. And it is hard. It's hard to make me stop when I got a bee in my bonnet. I think that's what you would call it, a bee in my bonnet. In other words, I mean, it took me a while to get the sewing machines situated, you know. So now I have one that, unless something happens, and I've almost been through a complete 1,200 yard spool of thread. That's hard to believe, but I have a couple more. I have a red one and a black one. So anyway, I took my daughter to Walmart earlier, and she helped me pick some colors out for the children. I mean, I knew some. I asked Carly, and she said, green. She said, and then I saw where she said forest green. So I'm going, okay. When you look in a forest, there's a lot of different colors there, you know. So really, if she just wants like a forest green, you know what I'm trying to say? Because the whole quilt will reflect. Anyway, Jessica helped me pick out some stuff. Appropriate, too. Because one of them, at least one, I might have got two of them, I'm not sure, had sunflowers. Sunflowers. And Jessie says, yeah, because she's even got a tattoo of a sunflower. So, I mean, that'd be cool. So I'm just trying to get a variety, because I'm just going to do squares. I'm not going to have a pattern. I'll have a pattern in the fact that they'll be squares, and I'll be sewing squares together. But they're not going to be like, okay, this one, all have to be the same color type of stuff. I'm not doing any of that. So, we picked out materials for Jessie. We picked out materials for Carly. Got some stuff it's actually for Shay and Kevin. Kevin said gray. I think he said gray. Black and gray. And Shay she's going to use black, and I got a bunch of that yesterday. I got it all washed, and I'm just waiting for my iron. I want to press it before I do it. But I don't have to necessarily, because some of that cotton will let you press it with your hand. I mean, it won't be perfectly pressed, but as far as being able to cut the material and having it be the right dimensions and stuff, I was able to do that with what I've already done. So I guess I could show you what I just put together, and I have not got them sewn, I just have them pinned. Move this down some. So like the same materials that have been in these mug rugs that I put into a quilt, okay? I had already cut up a bunch in 6x6 squares. 6 inches by 6 inches. So then yesterday, I'm pretty sure it was yesterday, I cut up some 8-inch by 8-inch squares of my, it's lapis. I call it royal blue. That's what it looks like to me. Anyway, I cut the 8x8 so I can encase. I can join it to another block and also encase it. And then, even though it's a few steps, it prevents me from having to put a batting and a backing on. So just need to enjoy it and just do it. And there are different ways you could even do that if you really wanted to get technical, but we're not going to do that because we have a sewing machine. So I have decided I'm going to make squares. And for now, see, I had all that blue. But I've stopped myself. I haven't cut it all up. But at least I know the color. I can get more. But I just love it. I love the rich color. So this is going to be a personal size quilt. It'll be longer than a throw. It'll be wider than a throw. But it'll be a personal size. It's not going to be big for the bed. Unless someone talks me into that. Anyway, I love this. Okay, so I'm going to show you my 6" by 6" square with an 8" by 8" backing. Okay, so can you see this one? I love that. And then there's one. See, these will have a binding all the way around. Now, this has got a plain square. However, that plain square, see, these are going to butt up against each other. So when you do a whole big old spread, you're going to have different stuff. I love this. I told you guys about this yesterday, I'm sure. I love this material, and it does go good with that. So when all is said and done, this is going to have a binding around it. So it'll lose 3/8 of an inch about on the edge. Okay, there's another one. Let's see. And then there's that one. See, I don't know if that first one was already that. It was, okay. But you can see there are some shades that'll fit with that. It looks good. Probably getting it too close. So let's see what else. I just have got these ready to go for me to, I'll probably draw, in other words, the stitching. I'll stitch angle to angle, angle to angle, and it'll crisscross. And then I'm not sure, I might go ahead and go around, but I don't know that I need to. And then another thing I could do is a tic-tac-toe. In other words, sew across this, leaving a little space, so if I need to, but I already did trim, so the thing is, you have to have room to do some trimming if you have to. But I love it, really. So like I said, even though it seems like extra work, in the long run, it's not. And it's something you can do a little by little, too. Like, I can just put a bunch of squares together. I don't know. Somebody who loves royal blue, they might like a royal blue backing and then have all the squares framed in the royal blue. And if everything's framed in the same color, then those two little pieces will look bigger. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll have binding on one side, binding on the other, and the two bindings together will give more presence. The color will give more presence through there. Instead of a thin line, it'll be a little bit thicker. Anyway, so back to the Walmart trip. I should have videotaped that. But we were looking at materials, you know, and who likes what. And so Jessica chose a bunch of prints. She chose a whole different format. So that's cool. This first quilt, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll put it up for auction. I really don't know. I do like it, though. And so I should probably just keep it for myself, right? It's fine with me. I want them to like their quilts. And I'm thinking it's going to be a lot easier. So we have to choose a backing. Like I just said, probably a backing that's going to encase every square. And then the squares can just be willy-nilly. So I don't know, because I just got a lot of black too. See, I would use black for the back, and then the black would come in and go around each of the squares. Or you could have brown or whatever color you want for your backing. So I bought some gray. Gray would be good for backing and good for framing, but you'd have to really like the gray. I would think what color you really like should be the one that's the backing and the framing. And then the other blocks can have all that stuff in it too. So yes, I make everything complicated, don't I? But in the long run, it's good to plan. So I love those blue. And I like just a square that's a solid color. Like this. And I know, most of you know what a binding is. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold this up halfway, like that. And then fold it over again and sew it. So that's the binding. It'll have that much all the way around it. Hopefully you could see. So now I have a bunch more different colors to work with. Kind of went crazy, but it's going to be their Christmas, and it's going to be an heirloom. Depends on how, you know, how they feel about it, but it'll be something their grandma made, and for my daughter, something her mother made. And I'm excited, so that's why I have a bee in my bonnet. I want to get her done, when I've gone crazy. You know, so it's like getting the cart before the horse. You gotta wait to get these materials lined up. And then I've got to have a simple quilt. I might would have done the squares bigger. I saw where they were doing 8-inch squares and then 10-inch for the backing. They were doing the same thing, but their squares were bigger. And that's what they were doing, was just doing, you know, from angle to angle in a diamond shaped or an X. Just do an X marks the spot. And then I think the tic-tac-toe one is a good one too. And that's your quilting. So you don't have to do it with a needle and thread and your fingers. Okay. Listen, I tell you what, I think I'll stop. I've shown you a little bit. I guess really what I could do, what did I do with that? I wonder if it's in my room. Oh, it's right here. Okay. Yeah. Oh. I still have to... Madison has said some of the colors that she wanted, but see, at first we were just starting with just, you know, 2 or 3. But that's because I've seen a quilt that was made like that. But this one, you can just have all your colors. I mean, you don't have to have it like I was talking about a theme, you know, because I love blue. So maybe I want to do my room in blue, you know. So I love blue with brown, and I love black. I love all those colors. So, I mean, it just depends. But look in here. It starts from here. Anyway, I got some gray and some cranberry. I was having a hard time getting cranberry. And then Jessica chose colors that I would have never. So cool beans. I mean, it works out good. And then here's the sunflowers. And I believe that sunflowers on black, a black background, which goes good with my black. Anyway, there's just a bunch of different things in here. I got the cranberry. I've been trying to get cranberry, and they kept canceling my order. This bag is too full. There's a nice yellow. Anyway, it's going to be nice. But the big thing is, I do need to figure out the backings, because the way I'm going to do it, each square has got to have that backing. So it's not like I'm just going to sew squares together and then put a backing on it. I think that would be too hard. And I like the way this turns out, I do. So my other ones, my mug rugs, there's a lot of seams across it, so it makes it a lot thicker. This will be a lighter quilt than what the mug rugs turned out to be. I mean, it's still a nice, heavy quilt. Maybe it's not as heavy as I'm making it sound, but I'm just saying there's a lot of layers when you add all the layers that I sewed onto it. Whereas what I'm going to do now, I know I already showed you, but I'm just doing individual squares. So it's just going to have one piece of material for what I'm going to do, okay, which makes it simpler. But I will be sewing a block to a block by way of this. We'll sew the backs together, go down an inch, and then that'll make this lay open, and then we will bind it. And therefore, it will be all encased. And so before we do that, I'm going to take and sew an X probably. I'm not sure, but I'm going to do something which will cause it to where we don't have to quilt it. That will be the quilting. And I love it. I love it. I love it. So I just got to do I have to figure out the backing, because then I cut the squares for a certain size for the backing. And I kind of like the double-sided quilt thing. Meaning, if I did these squares with all different kinds of backing, whether it be royal blue or black or brown or whatever, and then I sew in a pattern on the front. It's not, I don't want to, see, that's the thing, I don't want to have a pattern. So, but still, you could have different backings, which would form different color squares on the back. Am I making sense, people? I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yes, I are. And what I'm going to have to do is figure out. Jessie will have to help me remember. She helped me figure it out. In other words, I need to pre-wash this material. And then I want to iron the material. And I want to put it in an organized fashion. In other words, the colors that go for the certain kid, keep their colors, their prominent colors in their box or their whatever. I've got these little tote boxes. They're baskets, basically. And they would go in those cubicle things you can buy. Anyway, I know I started to say it earlier. I came, they had cranberry in the store. I got 4 of them. I almost got 7, but see, I already have 2. And the thing is, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's gonna look good. Jessie's gonna have, she got this to go with her cranberry. See, I was just, I don't think about plaids for anybody. So she came up with, and this one too. So she's got these 2 plaids. Now, did she pick that or did I? I need my glasses. I can't tell what color it is. Anyway, point is I'm going to have to pull some of this fabric and wash it and get it ready to go. And that looks really good together. Okay, so this is the gray that I got. And so that looks good. And I love this too, this marbling stuff. They had it in a few different colors, but I really like, this is a teal. And I like, they have it in the royal blue too. So anyway, the point is, these squares that I showed you, these things here. So where the royal blue is, I could change out those colors. I could have different backs to go with different squares. And then when I put it all together, it will give a patchwork effect on the back too. Haphazardly, because I don't want to plan anything. And Jessie was saying that too. She likes haphazard. I don't know if she used that word, but I like it. It helps me with my planning because I can't be taxing my brain too much. I've got some things figured out though, so that's really cool. Ouch. And all of this fabric is, should be 100% cotton. I love that. So, do. My hand wants to hurt. So see, it's called steel. That's the color of the gray. Steel. So that is a 3-yard pack, and then I couldn't find another 3-yard pack, so I got 2 singles. So that saved me a yard. Okay. So basically I've got 5 yards of that gray. So it just depends on what a person thinks as far as their backing, because I bought 12 yards of the black, and I got that washed yesterday. I'm just waiting for my iron. So, I mean, I could do all these different backings, and it would liven up the back. Or we can just have everything be the same, which that's probably the best way to go. I don't know. This bag is all ripped up now. Okay, so I'm getting down to the lower parts. So we got some green in here. There's a red flower print. I already showed you that. There's a yellow flower print. It's the same as the other one. And then she's got a stripe gray. That'll go really good with that gray. No. It's green from Miss Carly. I think I got 2 of those. Yes, I did. And I'm not sure if they had any more. It might have been the only ones they had. So, yeah. I'm not exactly sure how much was on material, but so I got milk and creamer and found a good deal on Dr. Pepper. Pop has just gone crazy, okay? I don't like Coke. Dr. Pepper, it's the same thing with the Pepsi. It's got to be like fresh, where it's got that bite. Otherwise, I don't like it. But in the smaller bottles, I mean, the Pepsi was like $6.48 or something, okay, for 6 bottles. And the Dr. Pepper was $2.88 for 6 bottles. So I got 2 of those. I got 2 packages of 6, and they will last me a while. I don't just sit and guzzle on pop. However, I do like to have it once in a while. So it's nice. I'm glad I saw that because I was passing by the Pepsi. I said, no, can't be doing that. It's crazy. You just have to find things when they're on sale and then you stock up. I mean, if that's a possibility. It's not always a possibility. That's a lot of material. So I was going to say, how much did you spend on material, Lou? I like that too. So that's black with a print. Very, trying to find the right word, so I'll say vague. I mean, there's a print there, but you can't see it very well. And of course, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm not sure what that print is of. It almost. And Jessie said that polka dots make her happy. This could be her little polka dots. Okay, and it's got a thing, so it'll go good with the gray. Anyway, it's just going to be a bunch of squares. And really, to make it simpler for me, I would start doing 10-inch squares for the back and 8-inch squares for the square. But since I've got all these 6x6s, I'm just going to go ahead and go with that. It's just going to be weird. You just have to keep moving on. You know, you're going to go, will I ever get done? Well, I'm not done with the quilt I was working on. I've got at least one more row, maybe two. I mean, if I was to make it where she could go down and put it under her feet, but we got different colors for her now, so I don't need to worry about that. But I was just thinking what she wants. To be able to put it under her feet and still wrap up in it. See, so when I add this next row, it's going to make it 6 feet, 72 inches. But I don't know if that's enough. But at least I need to get that done. I did cut out the fabric and the batting to make the 3 extra blue blocks that I need. Now I just need to sew them. And I need to... Maybe I should leave some of this material in its thing. Meaning in its envelopes. Just put it on the shelf until I'm ready for it, and then I need to wash it up. And that might be the thing to do. Because it's already on a bolt, already smooth. I just have to find a place to put it all. And then I want to pull the right colors for each person. So that when I go to do their quilt, that's what I'm using. Because I will not remember. I know that Shay wants, she picked out 3 prints. And she wants black. And one of her prints is black with white printing on it. Anyway. So I need to put hers together and these together. I like this green. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, it's evergreen. See, so that would be like the forest. The evergreen forest. Okay, people, I'm going to let you go. I got to go see what's going on. We might be going to see the baby. And today is the day we go, and my daughter plays pool. We were having a Tuesday date night for me and her, but not really a date night because we don't go out and stay out. But they were having a pool league, which was there at the same time we were going. And so she joined. I'll have to see. I told her, I says, how long does that pool league last? She don't know. So we'll ask today. Anyway, there's 3. There's 2 little ones and 1 3-yard bolt. All of these little ones are a yard. The solid colors were on rollback. They're $3.18 a yard. These, anything that was printed, is you can just say around $5. Some might have been $4.67. Some were $4.97. I don't know what's what. But I don't have that many prints. But it's cool. Because we're going to disperse these colors throughout the quilt. My hand's going here, there, and everywhere. So it'll be neat. I have some great projects to work on. And yes, I need to have... I shut down everything to do with eBay, I think. Or maybe I just did PayPal. So the point is, once upon a time, I had an eBay store. I should go check it out. I don't know what my passwords are and stuff. Anyway, I figure I'll just put it up for sale on here and maybe on Facebook Marketplace, and we can use my Cash App. It's really not a problem. Or, you know, if you're here in Lansdale, we just do in person. But I've used the Cash App. I like it. You send money, it doesn't cost you to send money, and it happens right now. It doesn't happen tomorrow or whenever. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly because I did buy those items. That's what I was telling you, is those items were added in with my bill. So I spent $85. But that covered the gallon of milk, a thing of creamer, and 2 6-packs of Dr. Pepper. Okay, so I probably need to go see what's going on. So I'll say goodbye, people. Talk to you later.